Hey family, welcome to How Love Works, where we talk about the principles for lasting love. It's been thirsty here in Virginia the last couple of days, and I have to admit, this conversation we've been having about how to find your Boaz for life partnership, it's been keeping me kind of warm at night, because I've been thinking of a lot of great things that I can add to this subject matter. But here recently, I'm really feeling it. I'm really feeling thirsty today. So really, I think what I want to do is I want to talk to you guys on how do you know when you're acting too thirsty? How do you know when you're acting too thirsty in your relationships? See, that matters because when you act too thirsty in your relationships, one of the things you can seriously continue to count on, or you're gonna miss out on love. You can believe that. You're gonna miss out on partnership and contentment. Those are guarantees. See, what we have today in our culture today is we have a chronic, I guess you'd say, simp mentality today, where a lot of people are sympathizing with people who don't deserve sympathy. They're in relationships where they're sympathizing constantly and getting no real return. But that's the environment we live in. It's so bad, it's becoming almost a market all in itself. It's like there's a market for simps. And that's the situation we have today. So, without further ado, I think I want to add my 2 cents to this arena and to this conversation. I want to tell you, young ladies, as well as you young men, why this kind of chronic behavior, being thirsty, if you will, why it's such an anathema, why it's such a bad thing, and why it's going to keep you single. The biggest reason is I'm going to give you these 10 examples that I'm sure many of you have already probably experienced in your dating life. Some of these things might be new, but I kind of doubt it. I may say them in a little different way than the way you've experienced it, but at the end of the day, I'm almost positive you've experienced these things. Now, if you are acting too thirsty in your relationships, and these are the things you can expect to see if you haven't already experienced them. Number one, you're going to be alienating all your friends and family once you start a relationship. That's almost always the first thing you see when a person who hasn't had a relationship for some time, or all of their patterns of relationships, they all take on the same pattern. As soon as they get into a relationship, they start ostracizing themselves. And then all it is everything is focused on the relationship. Okay? The next thing is you become a chronic pleaser. I mean, your ideas, your values, your vision, your agenda, nothing matters. The only thing matters is your man. Or if you're a guy, the only thing that matters is your girl. You have no opinion. You're just a yes girl. You're just a yes man. That's number two. Number three, you start behaving like a bipolar, like you have a bipolar personality. You ever seen these people? They're up, they're down, they're up. That's the way you can expect. What I mean by that is once you get into your new relationship and you're thirsty for one and you've been that way for some time, you start behaving in this bipolar fashion, meaning you're overly passive or you're obsessively protesting everything. You're challenging everything. You're extreme. There's no balance. There's no middle. And that's the way you behave. And I know you're scratching your head. You say, I've been there. I don't know why or where this obsessiveness behavior comes from, but I've been there. Yeah, that's how people act when they're a little too thirsty. Another area, you lose your confidence. A guarantee is when you're too thirsty, you have no confidence. And once that happens, everything is personal. You take everything personal. So if the man, I don't know, he could be sitting there watching television, you ask him a question, and maybe he didn't hear you, you're going to take that personally. Or perhaps you're out somewhere with your girlfriend, and all of a sudden she looks at some guy in passing, not paying attention, not caring. All of a sudden you take that personally. This is the kind of stuff you see constantly when you're dealing with people who have a thirsty mentality, and they're just too thirsty, right? The second thing is you continue to compromise your values, and you operate out of a spirit of fear rather than a spirit of love. I mean, you're not looking at the relationship and what you can contribute to that relationship unconditionally. You're looking at that relationship as a matter of life and death. And if this thing don't work, it's over. My life is over, right? All right. Number 6, you start making excuses for bad behavior and dangerous conduct. You start making excuses. Obviously, you don't want the relationship to end. Obviously, you think this is it for you. Obviously. And so you constantly make excuses. Oh, well, he grew up with no father. Oh, he had a single mother, and the single mother had all these different children from different baby daddies. No accountability. That's over. That's for that's just for white people. Black people, because we're abused and we're victims, we don't have accountability. We're not adults. We're not moral. We just can act out any way we want because we have a built-in safe system that allows us to act any way we want, because all we have to do is say that we grew up in a single mother's home, or we grew up in the ghetto, or whatever. We can get away with anything. And that applies even to our relationships. Okay? Number 6. Number 7. You allow your mind to follow your heart. You allow your mind to follow your heart. Okay? It should be the other way around. Your heart should be following your mind. You shouldn't be so easily manipulated by a man's personality, his strong personality. You should be looking at his mind, his strong mind, his value system. Now, if you see his value system is found wanting, you notice his value system is weak. There's no return on investment for you who's investing in that relationship with him. Then it stands to reason what you want to do is you want to excuse yourself out of that relationship, see? Because you understand you're going to respect, or you respect whatever you attract, right? That's the way it is. And and you don't want to be the type of person that's constantly complaining about black men are this and black men are that. Or we can switch this thing over, black women are this and black women are that. You know what I always say to that? It don't matter to me who's doing the crying, who's doing the whining. never complain about what you consent to. If you're consenting to this behavior, what you complaining about? I look at it this way: give the people what they want. You want it, thug boy, you got him. You want it, ratchet girl, you got her. What you expect, right? All right. Number 8, you never grow or change as a result of all this thirst that you've been exhibiting in all of your relationships. The reason is because you have a fixed mindset. You don't have a growth mindset. In other words, in every circumstance, in every relationship you've ever been a part of, you never learn anything. You're forever learning. I'm sorry, I got it backwards. You're forever being taught, but you're never learning anything because you have a fixed mindset. Your fixed mindset is black and white. You kind of have an animalistic mindset. You operate by instinct or on instinct. You don't operate out of a spirit, even though you are a spirit. You have a soul and you live in a body, but you don't know that. You're acting like, you actually believe the theory of evolution. And remember, it's just a theory. They never, we teach it as though it's not, but it's a theory. All right. Number 9, you start acting like a loony bin. You start acting like you have PTSD, because that's normally the way it works. You start going downhill. The longer you stay in a relationship, the more detached you become, because this is your pattern. This is male or female. Thirsty doesn't have a gender. There are males who are simps and there are females who are simps. It doesn't matter. Okay. And number 10, you never learn how to love. You never learn how to love. Now, if you're thinking what the culture is telling you, that you have to, okay, my relationships have all been bad, so what I need to do is I need to go to the self-help section in Barnes and Nobles and pick out some books on how to love myself. You can do that if you want to. It ain't gonna help you, because you're gonna still use that selfish form of love in loving yourself, because the reason you're in the mess you're in is because you love yourself too much. You give yourself too much attention. You make too many excuses for yourself. This ain't got anything to do with the psychobabble of low self-esteem. That's just psychobabble. That's just excuse talk. There's always been values, and we always have choices. Unless someone has a gun pointed directly at your head, and they're telling you to make excuses for them, they're telling you to have sex with them, they're telling you to lie, cheat, they're telling you to behave in ratchet behavior, they're telling you to be a player. Okay? Unless someone has a loaded pistol to your head, you have a choice. This ain't got nothing to do with poor self-esteem. Psychologists made that up so they can get money out of you. This ain't got nothing to do. You learn some behaviors. You found out that 99% of the time these behaviors don't produce the results they claim they're going to produce. They give you immediate gratification, but that's about it. And you are too stubborn to realize this stuff doesn't work. Maybe I ought to go the other direction. Maybe I need to stop picking the same people. Maybe I ought to just do something totally different. Wow, what a concept. Nah, I have low self-esteem. Okay, I got low self-esteem. I got a pass. I can do whatever I want now. I can do anything I want. I can act like any person I want to act like. I can say whatever I want. I can go wherever I want. I can dress anywhere I want. All I got to do is put on a t-shirt. I got low self-esteem. Hey, they just basically giving us a license to sin. Low self-esteem, a license to sin. Oh, I gotta love myself, license to sin. Nobody now can check you. Nobody can say, oh, you need to get your act together. You need to grow up. You need to stop acting like a child. You need to stop picking the same fools. You need to behave like an adult male or adult female. You need to make better decisions. You need to learn from the decisions you've been making that were bad in the past. You need to start doing it right now. Stop making excuses. Nah, can't do that. We black people. We black. We victims just by virtue of osmosis. We're victims. We're professional victims. We actually got people who get paid to keep us that way. Right? So, if you want to find your Boaz and you want life partnership, you got to stop acting too thirsty, because the waters is full of predators out there, and you don't have an excuse for it. You don't have to act too thirsty. You don't have to act like you're better than everybody, and you don't have to act like you're not better than everybody. You know how to act, but you choose not to. If you want to find your life partner, you have to become a life partner that someone is willing to partner with. That's my time. I thank you for yours. I see you on the other side. God bless you.